number 1. If you look at verse 1 in your text, it says in the second sentence, "There shall be a time of trouble such as never has been since there was a nation till that time." Now, what does that sound like? That sounds like what we otherwise call the Great Tribulation, right? There's going to be a time of terrible, tumultuous tribulation and affliction. So sometimes when we're talking about eschatology, we use the phrase, the Great Tribulation. Now, even here, I have to just clarify that there are a number of different viewpoints on what that means. The Great Tribulation, or simply Great Tribulation. Let's go through a couple of those options, okay? Our dispensationalist friends, and we're not a dispensationalist church, we're covenantal, but the dispensationalists, they typically push off the Great Tribulation to the very end of the eschaton, to the very end of the end times, and they will typically define the Great Tribulation as something like the 7 last years before Jesus returns, right? You've probably heard something like that before. Sometimes they get fancy and split that into 3.5 and then 3.5. There's all kinds of iterations of dispensationalism. If you hold that position, fine. I'm not going to try to talk you out of it necessarily this morning. I just need you to know that's not the only position on the Great Tribulation. Our preterist friends will hold that the Great Tribulation primarily consists of that time surrounding the year 70 AD, where the temple itself was destroyed. Remember, Jesus predicts that in the Olivet Discourse in Matthew chapter 24. And it happened. 70 AD, the temple was destroyed by the Romans. And so many of our preterist friends would say the Great Tribulation is that period of time, those intense months of warfare and bloodshed in which the Romans surrounded and destroyed the temple in Jerusalem 70 AD. Now, I don't hold either one of those positions, to be honest with you. I hold the position, and I went through this when we did the book of Revelation, especially chapter 7, that the Great Tribulation is actually an extended period of time that covers the entirety of the church age. So from the resurrection of Jesus to the return of Jesus, I hold that the Great Tribulation, when we use the word great, we're talking not only about severity of tribulation, but also duration of tribulation. So I hold that the Great Tribulation is the entire church age. It's both intense and elongated. And why do I believe that? Well, because for the whole of Jesus' church, for that whole era that we are in currently right now, what does the church experience? We experience persecution and martyrdom and heretics and apostates and tyranny from without, and we experience lukewarmth from within. The whole church age is a time of great tribulation to the people of God. That's my position. Okay. Now, let me just say this, and I hope this is clear. If you defend your position on the Great Tribulation with exegetical insight, then I will respect that. That's fine. I hold my position, you hold yours. As long as you defend it exegetically, I'm fine with that. However, whatever position you take, I will respect it if it's biblical, but I will honor you if your position on the Great Tribulation causes you to desire perseverance and endurance when that time comes and you experience affliction, because that's the point. That is the point of all of these warnings, is that the church of God would gird itself up, strengthen itself to stand, and not compromise when times of affliction and tribulation come. That's the point of the warnings. I don't care what position you have, as long as you are ready to endure and to persevere for the sake of Christ and the glory of His name. If you're ready to do that, then you can hold whatever position you want on the Great Tribulation. I will hold mine. But don't miss the point. These kinds of warnings are so that the church would strengthen itself and prepare for times of difficulty. That's the point. Okay? Second,